Wait a minute. Wait a minute. BMW? What do you mean there's no 2JZ in Motherfucker? If you've been living under a rock for the past 12 months, then I'm welcome to show you the brand new 2020 Supra, donning its Mark V designation. This inline six, twin turbo, rear wheel drive, 340-ish horsepower sports car will be hitting the streets this year. And as excited as Toyota has been to release this car, the reception has been divided. Who am I kidding? It's been a goddamn roast fest. I mean, come on. Oh, it's not a Toyota. It's the Z4 Coupe. Oh, nice BMW. Oh, got my Supra. The list goes on and on and on. Look, I can't necessarily blame the reaction. Purists love single manufacturer cars for some reason, and I get it. It's a sentimental thing, but let's sit back and have an actual grown-up conversation about this car, because I think this is more to consider than what's under the skin. So dating back to 1978, the Supra has always been the top dog sports car in the Toyota lineup. And in the modern day and age, Toyota's had this weird vacant spot for a premium coupe to trump the GT86. So the A90 does exactly that, which is great. To save cost and development time, however, Toyota decided to partner with BMW, as the variants donated the powertrain and most of the suspension, while Toyota revised the interior, exterior, and a few other little things. But for that exact reason, the reactions have been pretty jaded, but in my humble opinion, undeservingly so. Now, let's be real here. Toyota definitely dropped the ball on this one. I mean, Toyota's been teasing this car for months and months, building up the hype for this car to the point where if they released anything short of perfect, it would have been a letdown. I mean, seriously, the constant spy shots, the clips, and the camouflaged appearances, and that weird sound clip thing they did. And not even to mention all of those, like, spy shots and like reveals that were leaked out that Toyota just supposedly ignored, made the official reveal the Supra have a way softer landing than I would have hoped. People have had their opinions on this car for like way too long. But now that it's finally here, we can actually dive into what this means for us as enthusiasts, how I think it'll fare in the market, and why I think this car will be a giant success or failure. Um, but, let's get your opinions on it as well when I'm done. So first of all, before anything, let's get my absolute factual opinion on this thing. This car looks good. I love the way this car looks. Despite what a lot of people say, after seeing the official renders and seeing it at the Detroit Auto Show, I really think that it looks good. Some people seem to not like it, saying that it looks strange or that it doesn't look like the FT1 concept, or my favorite, it doesn't look enough like a Mark IV Supra, or too much like a 1996 Hyundai Coupe. This comment though. I don't know about you guys, but this car takes about like 80% of what the FT1 concept was and plasters it onto an actual working chassis. And it does it pretty well. I mean, that's more than enough. Expecting this car to look exactly like the FT1 concept and actually expecting it to be affordable is like extremely optimistic and, more accurately, unrealistic. I like the way it looks. It has good proportions, qualities similar to the old cars, long nose, short booty, large headlights, etc. I mean, it does good with the Toyota's brand new, brand face thing that it has going on. Keep in mind, Toyota is not going to re-release the Mark IV. I mean, I don't know where people are getting that from, but they're not going to do that. Get that all out of your heads. The idea is to transfer the design philosophy of what the Supra represented in the lineup and then make a modern interpretation of it. That's it. I mean, that's it. If you want a Mark IV Supra, then go buy one. Because honestly, if you have the cash for a Mark V, you have the cash for a Mark IV. And since, they're about the same price for some reason, I don't see what the issue is. Unless you want a big 120 G's, boy. Oh. But looks aside, I think that the best quality of this car is going to be that it's going to drive great. I mean, I don't know where the assumptions came from that BMWs are bad drivers' cars, but when it comes to their sports cars, they aren't. 50-50 weight distribution isn't a bad thing. Under 3,300 pounds isn't a bad thing. And the power numbers are not bad. I mean, despite what it says on paper, this car is going to be quite a bit faster than the old one. It's going to make more torque at a lower RPM, and it's just going to be a better performing car than the old 2JZ Turbo Supra. I mean, I'm sure that its performance is not going to be an issue. It will be a fun car. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. It's gonna drive like a Z4. And probably yes, it will drive similarly to the car it shares a chassis with, but with a different turbo, tune, suspension setup. I'm pretty sure it's going to have its own character. And even if it doesn't, it drives like a $70,000 sports car. I mean, how is that bad? How is that bad? How can you complain about that? How? Look, I digress. I'm sorry you had to see that side of me. Look, it's not even worth getting into. This is not even mentioning like how this car is going to be like an aftermarket spank bank. So like tuning and performance companies, like tuning, they're already all over this car, and it isn't even out yet. So if you want stuff to get a few more horses out of it, pull a few more G's on the track, and give it that character that you think it won't have, websites like Car ID and Vivid Racing will be your best friend. But look, all right, I've talked this car up a lot. Let's get to, a glaring issue that I really wanted to address. And that main issue, that one thing that will be this car's main hurdle, where the hell is the manual transmission? God damn. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I mean, not really. Although I do think that this car does need a stick shift to fit the stigma of like top of the line enthusiast car. I know Toyota, is iffy about it, and I know it's something that we talk about, but I don't think it's going to be the crushing blow for this car. I think the main issue is that although the performance is sound, the cost punches above its weight class. Now look, selling sports cars is tough. Everyone and their mama is buying an SUV, a Econobox, and $50,000 starting price for a 6-cylinder sports car is a lot of money. I know someone out there is burning up their keyboard saying, well, the Mark IV Supra was way more expensive in the 90s, translated for inflation, blah, 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 blah. And while, yes, that is true, there are a lot of really good sports cars that you can get for that price in today's modern day and age. I mean, a new Camaro SS 1LE, for instance, an M2, even, an STI, a Mustang GT. And if you're looking at certified pre-owned cars, Corvettes, Z01s, M4s, M3s, maybe not CL63, oh, maybe, actually, but C63s, all cars that outperform the Supra for nearly the same price, if not less. I mean, do I think that the Supra is a bargain in terms of its target competition, like the Cayman S, M2, Lotus Evora, things like that? Debatably, yeah. I mean, it is cheaper than some of those cars, especially comparing like base options and stuff. But in the terms of the overall market, it's no longer a choice of preference to pick the Supra, over, let's say, a Camaro SS, if it would have started at $40,000, like I had hoped. Only considering that, you wanted something different than what the Camaro would have had to offer. You know, a fresh, new, good-looking Japanese slash German car, you know, engineered from both places for a good price. Now it's like a choice of preference and basically wasting more money for a lower performing car. You know what I'm saying? $40,000 hovers underneath a lot of cars that blatantly outperform it, you know, for the price, even if they were used. You know what I'm saying? As someone who's like on the fence about buying it, this is something that you can't ignore. You can't ignore it. It's something that you have to consider, and I don't think that it's priced cheap enough for the enthusiast to be able to buy them like hotcakes, like the GT86, for instance. Now, there is going to be a 4-cylinder model, and that puts the GT86 in this really weird place, and potentially a super fast version coming along, and I'm fine with that. But I really hope that they stick to developing this car. You know, at the moment, I find it like an amazing, great, perfect second owner car. You know, when the prices go down, it's going to be, you know, a steal. But of course, the initial sales is what Toyota cares about. And although I do have high hopes, they have to gear it more towards the enthusiast demographic so that we can let the Supra, you know, flourish in the market once again. That and the fact that it needs to get rid of those fake fends. But let me know what you think in the comments. You know, will this car sink or swim? Why or why not? Your thoughts, my thoughts. Do you think I should pick up the ukulele? Until next time.